Welcome everyone to VicaG's Spot Podcast. I would like to welcome Mr. Alfredo Cedillo. And taking the time to drive out here. I know it's hard, and the fact that you did it means a lot. So the way I met Alfredo is actually today was our first actual physical meet because I reached out to him on TikTok to ask him how the whole TikTok world worked. And I said, well, maybe he will respond. I didn't think he would because a lot of people don't. And he did. So thank you. That was very nice of you to do. So tell me, how was your trip down here today?
Pretty good. I'm a truck driver. I actually requested a short trip so I can make it here.
Oh, thank you. Tell me, where were you born?
Actually, I was born in Ciudad Juárez, Chihuahua.
Nice.
I came to the States when I was 11. Well, my story goes a little bit farther than that because I actually was born in Ciudad Juárez.
Okay.
I lived in Juárez for a little bit, and then I lived in El Paso, Texas, roughly for like a year or two, and then we actually moved to Utah. I lived in Utah for like 6 months. It's some family problems that we had, That's a story for another day. It's a really long story.
Family problems are always long.
Oh yeah, always.
Yeah, always. So you came when you were 11. When did you get to Joliet?
Well, actually, I crossed to El Paso when I was like 9.
Okay.
So I spent a year in El Paso, a year and a half, and then a year in Utah. And then by the time we came back here, it was like I was 11 or 12 because I started 6th grade in Joliet.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so.
Wow. That's awesome. So I love that you have 2 kiddos. They're adorable. Yeah. Their ages are...
they're almost 3 and 2, actually.
And you're potty training 1, right?
Yes.
That's kind of fun.
Oh, my God. It's so pain in the butt, honestly.
And I love how you and their mom have such a great relationship because of them.
We tried, we're always going to have our difference, but, once you put that to the side and you focus on the kids itself, it makes things a lot easier.
I think that's very admirable because it's hard to find that. Yeah. A lot of times, like when parents go their separate ways, they're all about their emotions and not the children. Mm-hmm. So they make it about themselves, and then so the kids are lingering, and then they have all these issues with them, and they just feel like your relationship with her and because of the children is so nice. Mm-hmm. How did you get to that maturity level?
I'm not gonna lie to you. At the beginning, it was hurtful, because it's not just a simple relationship where we just go our ways and we're done. There's kids in the middle, so it did hurt a lot in the beginning. There was times that I would come home from work and my kids were no longer there.
Yeah.
So it kind of hurt a lot. So I was like, what? Maybe I should just Sometimes it's that Mexican pride that you have in you that doesn't allow you to. But unfortunately, me and the mother of my kids, we were too far gone from their relationship that there was actually no turning back. But I tried. Don't get me wrong. At the beginning, I was hurt. And I'm pretty sure she was too. Because at the beginning we had our problems. Don't get me wrong, we had our problems in the beginning, but once you got past that, it made it a lot easier. But don't get me wrong. We all argue. We disagree. You're barely single from being from a relationship, so we had a lot of disagreements. Not disagreements, but she wanted to go out, on the weekends because I get my kids every single weekend, because they live in Indiana, so that was our agreement. She keeps them Monday through Friday morning, and I pick them up Friday afternoon to Sunday.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes my kids will be sick, and in the beginning when all this happened, obviously I'm a new dad. When we were together, she would take care of the kids. I would take care of everything else. She would just worry about the kids. So when she leaves, like to the point that I didn't even know how to change diapers. I did not know how to change diapers. If one of the babies was crying, I didn't know what was wrong.
Yeah.
So there was times that my kids, example, there was like one time that my kid had a fever, right? But he was like almost like a 103, and I didn't know what to do. It was like 1 a.m, and I text her, and I mean she's out, she's out partying and stuff like that. And this was when we first started living, so it kind of hurt, because I mean, she was my girlfriend, she was
and she's the mother of your children, so there is obviously emotional attachment to that. So
a little jealousy. So that caused us to argue. I got so mad that like I called her mom. I called my mom, and we had this big brawl. Not brawl, we talked about it and stuff.
¿Qué telenovela?
But this was only in the beginning, though. Once I learned how to take care of my kids, I really didn't need her. I mean, not that I don't need her, but I could handle it by myself.
Right. Lo superaste.
So, yes.
Y creo que muchas de las veces is because you didn't know what you were doing with the kids. And obviously, mom is a super mom, so they know what to do with their kiddos. But you surpassed that, and now you guys are at a point where you guys are cordial. Yeah. And you guys can talk to each other, and it's the kiddos. Yeah.
We actually get along. Actually, we get along way better now than we used to.
That's awesome.
We come to the agreement. There's times that like when I went to Texas, right, Dallas, like last month. I actually spent the night at her house because I was actually gonna take my little one with me.
Okay.
And she actually drove us to the airport.
Oh, that was nice.
We have that. She kept my truck. We have that kind of relationship now. You know?
That's good.
She offers to like times like when there was one time I went out and she offered me. She's like, "Look, if you're gonna be out drinking, there's my place."
Oh, nice.
I mean, I sleep on the couch. Don't get me wrong. I sleep on the couch. No, actually, I have a lot of respect for her, but like, would I ever go back out with her now? Probably not. We're in two different points in our lives. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I have a lot of love for her because she, like, I'll always, I'm not gonna lie to you. I would always love her because she's the mother of my kids. But past that, I don't think I would ever see it like that.
Yeah. I feel as though like when you're in a relationship and you love someone so much, I think you still love them even when you're not together. There's still some sort of love that you have for that individual. Like I feel as though I love my ex because of who he was with me within the relationship. Obviously, at the end, like you say, everything is different. But the person that was there is the person that I loved. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So you still have a little love for them, and if you hear anything happens to them, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, it does hurt a little bit. But it's fair. And then you guys have 2 kids, so that even maximizes that. Right? So you have that respect and love for her because she's the mother of your children and the way she treats them. And so that's very admirable for me. When I saw that, I was like, oh, let me, deja ver. Y eso fue lo que me hizo mandar ese mensaje. Because my friend's like, find out how TikTok works. I'm like, okay, let me see. I'm like, you know what? I think this guy's going to respond to me. And he's like, why? And I'm like, because he just is friends with his baby's mama. She's like, just because of that, Vica, I'm like, yeah, I think he'll respond. And you did, And I'm like, he's not going to be like rude or anything. So that's actually what I admired about that. And so how many siblings do you have?
I have a sister that's 29, and I have a little brother that's 19.
Oh, nice.
And just recently, since my parents are divorced now. Okay. My dad got remarried and everything, and they actually just had a kid. So technically, it's considered my sister.
Oh, okay.
But she is
your son's age.
Actually younger.
Okay.
I think she's 11 months.
Oh, so chiquita.
So I have a baby sister.
Okay.
But you know, she's so young that doesn't really feel like my sister.
Yeah.
You know,
it's different.
yeah. So I mean, it's my kid's age. You know, so my kids are gonna be older than their aunt.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of
Oh
weird.
wow. And does your dad live here too?
Yeah, he lives in Joliet.
Oh, okay, nice. And your mom does too.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, did you learn to have the relationship that you have with your baby mom because of your mom and dad's relationship? No.
Actually, the opposite.
Okay.
Because my mom to this day, my dad's over it. You know.
Well, I feel like men get over it faster than women.
My mom to this day.
They hold grudges.
My mom hates my dad to this day.
Really?
Yeah, like and you know, Joliet is not that big, obviously, right? So they actually there's been times they bump into each other. Yeah, and it's just it's really awkward sometimes.
Yeah.
Because we actually went through a whole drama with that too, you know.
Yeah.
Me personally, actually stopped talking to my dad. For again, inner family problems again, you know.
Yeah.
I stopped talking to him for like, I want to say like 5-6 years. Probably like unfortunately, it was like in the most important times that, you know, a kid needs his father, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the sex talk, you know, beer, you know, women, condoms, you know, everything, all that stuff, you know. And he wasn't really there for me, you know. He was there financially,
right.
Because he left for some family problems, but he actually found a job in a different state. You know? So he was helping us financially, but he wasn't there emotionally, you know.
Right.
So in a way that actually, you know, I know what it feels like not to have a dad. Mm-hmm. So this is why I'm so involved in my kid's life. You know, like I know that feeling. I know what it is like to not have a dad. You know, my dad is in my life now. You know, just recently, probably like 3-4 years, maybe we connected again. But to me, obviously he's my dad and everything, right? But there is times that are like, let's say we're sitting here, me and him. There's times that, you know, there's nothing to talk about. Really? You know, and it hurts. You know, I kind of wish it wasn't like that, but
is it because you guys don't have much in common, or is it just simply because you don't want to really dig in more, or what is it?
It's just, I don't know. It's just like sometimes there's nothing to talk about, you know.
Yeah.
I don't hate him, you know. I kind of wish he was in my life when I was younger, when I really needed him. I mean, he's, you know, at the end of the day, he's my dad. You know, I'm always gonna love him and I respect him, you know. But I kind of wish we had that, you know, that communication. Yeah. I wish I had that bond.
I feel like a lot of times, and correct me if I'm wrong, but parents do the best that they can do, right? Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, your little baby sister, she has a different person of your dad, right? So tiene diferente etapa de la vida de tu papá, so va a estar más presente. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Like, I don't know about your parents, but my parents were young when they got married. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I had them at a place where they were trying to figure out stuff, right? So with us as kids too, it's kind of like, what do I do with my kid? Yeah. And then my 2 younger sisters, they had a different parents too, because they were at a different place financially. They were at a different suburb. You know, it's just so different. Yeah. Do you kind of like have a little resentment towards your dad, or you don't have that? You just wished he was more of your buddy. Do you think there's room for you to grow with him? Yeah, obviously, yeah. I mean, I can't hate him my whole life. Yeah, you know. And I mean, like you said, you know, us guys, you know, we